Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello, 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 everybody. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everybody's good. Could one of my mods post the ash kicking link for me, please? Oh, okay. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you, Steve. Said what it is, good sister and peeps. Thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution. I appreciate you so much. Hold on, wait, hold on. Well, this Malika, you not a mod? Since when you not a mod? Anyway, none of my mods in here. I'll do it. There we go. Thank you, Miss Nicole. I appreciate you, my love. Okay, so we gonna be back at it again with DJ Hamp's panel. You can join the channel. You may have to come out of the live in order to see the join on the app. Like if you're on your phone. So if you're on your phone, oh, that is interesting. Why would they show it in the app? It's not in the app. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Theo, for your contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Here, we're going to do this then, since they don't want to show it in the... I promise you we're going to get to the show in 2 seconds. But I ended up saving it to the description, but I'm going to do one better. And I'm going to post it here. And if one of my mods could do me the favor of grabbing that link and every once in a while posting it, just reposting it. The only reason I'm not pinning it is because you can only pin one thing at a time. But if one of my moms can just make a note of the membership link, one or two, or however many, it doesn't matter. Make a copy of that link, like keep that link and just post it periodically throughout the show. I will appreciate it because we're going to be doing this for a minute. That pin is going to be there for a minute. Thank you so much, sweetheart, Miss Jamira. And you pretty too in your picture. I guess pretty, no pretty, huh? Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. We are going to get in, and this is why I like Hamp's panel, because on the one hand, a panel is a panel is a panel, right? But on the other hand, I think the thing that I really enjoy about Hamp's panels is the questions that are posed. Because you get the run-of-the-mill conversation, but then you also end up getting the questions that kind of tease out. I like questions that peel back the layer of something. Because I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get around just the talking points. Nobody wants to talk about just the talking points. People have been listening to talk points for a minute on both sides. It's more so about let's get past the talking point and let's actually peel back the layers so that we can see what's going on. Thank you so much, Rashawn, for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate you. If you want to become a member, go ahead and click the link that is in the chat. You should see it scrolling up. I've got 2 levels as of now. I've got your basic membership at $4.99, which this is just support for the channel, which I appreciate greatly. And then there is the second level where we have exclusive member content. Now, if we can get to at least 500 members, you know what? Scratch that. Road to 1,000 members. If we can get 1,000 members, I will start doing live streams for members. And there will be members only live streams. Plus, I got some membership content coming up this week. It's been some stuff on my mind. I got to speak my piece on the Diddy thing. I am not going to do it here. But thank you again, Rashawn. Thank you, Tristan. Say, hey, Kendra, you might want to look into the 4B West movement. It's a group of Black women starting to move into decenter Black men. They got the idea from women in South Korea. Would love to know your opinion. First of all, let me thank you. Thank you so much. And you're kind of on my wavelength. The real reason that I'm doing ham today is because it got me kind of in my bag. So we're going to get a cook. But I haven't seen it under this 4B West. But I was doing some research on the concept of decentering men. And I found a few articles and I was sort of looking into that because I kept hearing that terminology. And I'm like, what is that term? What is decentering men? What does that mean? And it's just some further, but it's like deep in the boneyard. That is deep in the boneyard. Decentering men, that concept is deep in the boneyard. Thank you, Miss Siobhan. I always catch the replays, but today I set time aside for myself to catch you live. And you will not regret it because we are definitely going to get into I don't know if I was triggered or but the exchange that I'm about to share with you that happened on Ham's panel the other day. It's just so central to why the community is lost. And I'm saying the community is lost because if we can't get family, if we can't get relations together, then we aren't going to be able to do families. And if we can't do families, we're not going to be able to do communities. And if we can't do communities, we can just forget about setting a good value system culture wide. We can forget about setting our own bioculture around. We can forget about generational wealth. We can forget about all of the stuff that we've been squawking about as a group, about how we need to get things together and move forward and get all this. We could just ice all of that, because if we can't figure out man and woman, how are we figuring out anything outside of it? So let me go ahead and go to, okay. Thank you, Lii. I'm gonna keep saying it because I think that's what your name is. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you and all of your support. Thank you so much. And thank you, Miss Lucasely. So that concept is insane, and watched its inception a couple of years ago, started by non-melanated womanists. And see, that's why I ain't like that womanist stuff either, because people were trying to say that like that was different from being a feminist. And baby, I promise you it's not. So let's just we're gonna go a little bit ahead, just a little bit.
But if I just base it off of the examples that were given, that's how I'm looking at it. That's why I use Fantastic's example. I can't articulate it the best way, so I have to think about that.
Like we're always in like a victim state.
Who? Yeah.
Like if we were to choose to leave a family or leave a child, it's like, well, she had to. It has to be the worst case scenario. That's why she did it. Whereas if a man does the same thing, it's like, oh, you're just selfish.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like I think we think it through a little bit more before we just act.
We're just giving a lot more grace.
Yeah, like that's exactly why like a woman be like, okay, well, I'm gonna stay. He done cheated, he done did something wrong, and we'll stay a little bit longer. And then a man is like, yeah, no, I'm out automatically. So I think that's where, like, to your point, I think you articulated that.
But nay, the numbers don't say that. Nay. If that was the case,
Mr. Fantastic, don't pursue that.
Yeah.
Don't pursue that part.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay right where we at. It's the same exact thing, Nay. We're not talking about any of that.
Yeah, just think through like why that happens. You know, think about the fact that you say women are always seen as at a deficit as a victim. Think about this: men are never the victims. Don't that make them the biggest victims? Is that you can't?
And I still haven't pressed this.
Well, I'm just wondering, right? Because we can't, like, for instance, you know me.
You are a victim
because you're supposed to be strong. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like just thinking through it. Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, just to answer Ali's question as well. I agree with what the ladies have said so far, but in addition to that, and I'm not saying that it's right or that it's fair, but the responsibility of keeping the house in order falls upon the man. Okay, if you are the head of the house, then you are responsible for the success of your family. So if you then leave your family, then you are villainized because you had a responsibility and you failed to meet that responsibility, essentially. Again, not saying it's right, not saying it's fair, but this is how it's perceived because you are in charge. You're the alpha and the omega when it comes to the family. So if it fails, then you fail.
Okay, so if I concede to that, that means when you say the man's supposed to be a good leader, the woman's supposed to be a great follower, right? So if a woman, if the man leaves because she's not a good follower, he should be justified, right? And if a woman leaves because she don't want to be a good follower, she's not justified, correct? Because the number one reason for divorce is lack of commitment. Women are leaving because they don't want to stay committed to what they chose to be committed to. So if you're leaving your man because you don't want to follow him, it's not justified. If he leaves because you're not following him, he's justified. So if the main problem that we're seeing is that men is not the fact that men aren't great leaders, women aren't great followers.
Then don't marry them.
That was in the.
I understand what you're saying.
But
so
that's advice. I don't think we're saying we're not leaving because of following. It's because there's something that the man is doing wrong. And that's not all men, but I'm just saying that's what it sounds like. We're not leaving, because we just can't follow you. No, you've done something wrong and you've messed up on your vows.
What percentage, Nay? What percentage of the divorces filed by women are because the man did something?
That's all y'all. Y'all love the stats. I don't do all that. I don't know.
But Nate, I guess the assessment is your assumptive nature. The women are not wrong.
I think that women usually leave marriages because there's something that they feel like the man is not doing in the marriage, and oftentimes it's like it could be cheating. It could be having obviously having a baby out of your marriage, outside the marriage, but it's always like a factor. There's something wrong. And it's depending on the women. Some women not cheating is not a deal breaker.
It actually sounds like.
Now, I'm gonna pause it. Now, what we just heard was the usual rigmarole, right? The usual rigmarole. That wasn't so impressive because we always come back to, and this is why I named the show the way I named it. We always come back to the women are leaving because the man has done something. It's gotta be something that the men do. It cannot be ever that the woman, regardless of the stuff that comes out of their mouth, regardless of the things that come out of the women's mouths themselves, when they start talking about how unhappy they are and viewing, and this is actually going to go that way, viewing the work of a relationship, viewing the responsibilities that they have within the relationship as unpalatable slave work that they eventually get tired of doing. And so because they get tired of doing it, in order to justify the breaking of the family, the breaking of the marriage, the breaking of the relationship, the divorce proceedings, and all of the years of crap that comes from it, that comes from her decision to just pull away from her family, she's got to say the man did it instead of saying, I just wanted to do that because I was ready to go. And for all of the verbal gymnastics that they do, whenever these women do tell their stories about it, they always eventually end up at the same place. They always end up at I did what was best for me because the marriage did not serve me. That's always where they end up. They can sit there and do a whole diatribe, and the end of the diatribe will be the actual truth. Out of all the flim flam and fluff that they got through talking about, at the end of it, then they'll say, and I just did what I did for me. Because it did not serve me. Not us, not he was a bad guy. Because there's a video of a chick talking about how she broke up a relationship. It wasn't a marriage. Talking about, and she couldn't say nothing bad about this guy. She couldn't say nothing bad about him. She was like, oh, he's awesome. He said, oh, but he's just not my person. You just found it difficult to be in a relationship. You know what? I'm going to save that. The young man here is going to ask one of the best questions that I've heard in a long time. And then I want you to watch them stumble and bumble over it and not answer it. Not answer it. It eventually never gets answered. It was such an important question. I wish Hamp would have made them stick right there. But we're going to listen to it.
You're saying that the woman doesn't even exist in the relationship.
What do you mean?
So if the responsibility of keeping the family together is on one person, yet it's a relationship of two, why is the woman even exist?
This kid getting it. He's adult.
Did you hear his question? I'm gonna go back.
Nice.
It was an awesome question.
Oh man.
Keeping the house in order falls upon the man. Okay, if you are the head of the house, then you are responsible for the success of your family. So if you then leave your family, then you are villainized because you had a responsibility and you failed to meet that responsibility, essentially. Again, not saying it's right, not saying it's fair, but this is how it's perceived because you are in charge. You're the alpha and the omega when it comes to the family. So if it fails, then you fail.
Okay, so if I concede to that, that means when you say the man's supposed to be a good leader, the woman's supposed to be a great follower, right? So if the man leaves because she's not a good follower, he should be justified, right? And if a woman leaves because she don't want to be a good follower, she's not justified, correct? Because the number one reason for divorce is lack of commitment. Women are leaving because they don't want to stay committed to what they chose to be committed to. So if you're leaving your man because you don't want to follow him, it's not justified. If he leaves because you're not following him, he's justified. So if the main problem that we're seeing is that men is not the fact that men aren't great leaders, women aren't great followers.
Then don't marry them.
That was
I understand what you're saying.
But
so
I don't think we're saying we're not leaving because of following. It's because there's something that the man is doing wrong. And that's not all men, but I'm just saying that's what it sounds like. We're not leaving, because we just can't follow you. No, you've done something wrong and you've messed up on your vows.
What percentage, Nay? What percentage of the divorces filed by women are because the man did something wrong?
That's all y'all. Y'all love the stats. I don't do all that. I don't know.
But Nate, I guess the assessment is your assumptive nature. The women are not wrong.
I think that women usually leave marriages because there's something that they feel like the man is not doing in the marriage, and oftentimes it's like it could be cheating. It could be having obviously having a baby out of your marriage, outside the marriage, but it's always like a factor. There's something wrong. And it's depending on the women. Some women not cheating is not a deal breaker.
It actually sounds like you're saying that the woman doesn't even exist in the relationship.
What do you mean?
So if the responsibility of keeping the family together is on one person, yet it's a relationship of two, why is the woman even exist?
This kid getting it. He's adult.
That was one of the single most important questions. How you doing, Ricky? One of the single most important questions that I've heard in a long time posed to women that talk like this. If everything in a relationship is a man, the man's this and the man's that, and his responsibility to make her happy, his responsibility to pay for everything, his responsibility to make sure the children are taken care of, his responsibilities are both domestic in the home and it is external outside of the home. He is responsible for maintaining all of the sexual, all of the emotional, all of the mental and all of the spiritual work of the relationship. And if he does not carry all 100% of the emotional, spiritual, physical, sexual, all of the work of the relationship, then he fails at the relationship and she has to leave it because he failed. So the young man asks her, if that is the case, are you even in your relationship? Years ago, I posed this question. Are you just bystanders in your own lives? You're just bystanders in your own life. You don't got nothing to do with the relationship, so you don't have any contributing factors. You don't contribute here, negatively or positively. What part of the relationship workload belongs to you? If he has to do all of the physical, then he has to do all to make sure you're happy, make sure you are sexually satisfied, make sure you're spiritually okay, make sure your mental health is okay, make sure the kids' health is okay, make sure. So at what point in this relationship are you as the female responsible for any portion of any of that work? That's why he posed a question like that. Are you even there? It's a relationship. Only what he does counts. You're in a relationship. However, you are inconsequential in your own relationship. I did a video, a live stream a long time ago, maybe a year or two ago, that was talking about the women want to be useless. Y'all want to be of no use to nobody. Specifically to your husband, specifically to your Black husband. You don't want to be of any use or benefit to him ever. That is why we circle back when these chicks leave a man and they say all this other stuff, and then they say he did not serve me. The marriage did not serve me. We never speak about what sacrifice was made on her part specifically for her family that didn't benefit her as well. Because when you cook, you benefit you. If you cook dinner, are you not eating it? You just cooked enough so he could eat some. When you clean the house, do you not enjoy the fruit of that labor sitting in a clean house? He just happened to be able to enjoy it too, but that's something you enjoy. That's something you like. When you wash clothes, you just happen to wash his clothes with the rest of the clothes, because what sense does it make to wash one load and not the other? But your clothes getting clean, right? You don't clean your clothes? You don't cook your food? You don't clean up the house for you? See, when my husband is not present, I clean up and I cook, because that's for me. I like sitting in a clean. I don't go into the void when he's not here. The part that they miss is doing stuff that benefits your family that don't benefit you. Doing things that benefit your husband that don't necessarily benefit you. And we're going to get to the crux of that. What we're going to do is go to a commercial break. We're going to let you hear that young man's question again, and then we're going to let you see the tap dance that goes along with it. But before we get to that, after these messages, we'll be right back, because I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. Pick up your order of their wonderful, excellent, creamy body butter, and all of their body care products are awesome. They are high quality. They're very well packaged and very well made. So if you are trying to have your skin looking its best, it's springtime, I know that it's April showers, but once the May flowers come out, the sun gonna come out, and we can't be ashy when it do. So I need you guys to go to ashkicking.com. The link is at the top of the chat. If it's gonna be your first order, I need you to take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, click the link at the top of the chat for ashkicking.com. I don't know how many likes I need, but I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta All right, hit the like button. Let me get to these super chats. Let's see how you doing. Scorched Earth, thank you. So notice how the men bring up facts. Thank you, Self-Actualized, for your super sticker. Thank you, Sivan, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. And thank you, Miss Almond Eyes. Said that don't do anything. That's the problem. Exactly. That's the problem. Let's go back. I'm going to let you hear the young man's question once more. We're not going to go back too far.
Kid getting it. He's adults.
Doing in the marriage. And oftentimes it's like, it could be cheating. It could be having obviously having a baby out of your marriage, outside the marriage. But it's always like a factor. There's something wrong. And it's depending on the women. Some women, not cheating is not a deal breaker.
It actually sounds like you're saying that the woman doesn't even exist in the relationship.
What do you mean?
So if the responsibility of keeping the family together is on one person, yet it's a relationship of two, why is the woman even exist?
This kid getting it. He's adults.
Be nice.
Man, I've seen him. It's just amazing to me how the kids get it, bro. He young, Sherelle young, all these young people getting it. But it's like when she said, "Oh, y'all do the numbers," but you're making a statement out of your mouth suggesting that men are responsible for the divorces that women are filing, and you don't think that it is becoming of you to justify that, to solidify it in any kind of way, just be dismissive. It's like this. But I'm wrong whenever I compare us to white people, though.
No, I think that she was saying that there's an assumption that's made.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, right? We trying to get Nate to a particular point, right? So what about what Be Nice said, Nate?
Okay, I started focusing on Dana because she was sideways. Okay, can you say that point one more time? Be nice, just so I can understand.
It was only 3 lines. Go ahead, Be Nice.
My point was,
sleep.
If the family, all of it, 100% of the responsibility is on the man, then in a relationship of two people, does the woman exist?
Is she not following his lead?
No, does she exist at all?
What's up, Crimson? Do you understand what he's saying?
Is she a part of the relationship?
He's asking you, is she culpable?
Is she a part of the relationship?
Think about it. Everything's on the man's shoulder.
Look, I want you to pay attention to how she's looking. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that she know exactly what he's asking her. And she playing in his face. Thank you. She playing all up in his face. Sitting there with her hand on her chin, like she contemplating the reworking of the Pythagorean theorem or something. When all he did was ask her, is a woman present in her own relationship? Get out of my chat. Please, get out. Masked man, get out of my chat. Leave me alone. Don't. I am trying to make a serious point. She's sitting there acting like exactly. She doesn't know how to flip it back on the man. It was such a perfect question. It was so simple, such a simple question. See, they never answer these types of questions. It's the same thing as the question that Sister Shahrazad Ali asked more than 30 years ago. If we're going to say that Black women are not 100% culpable for the demise of the Black community, and we're going to put a percentage of that blame on the Black man, I'm fine with that. Now, my next question is, how much of the percentage of blame are you willing to take? How much of it is your fault? Just you tell me. I'm not going to tell you. You tell me. I'm going to let you dictate the amount of blame that you take. I mean, I'm just saying. So he's asking a very simple question. Are you involved in your relationship? In other words, what influence, what contribution at all are you having, not only towards the marriage success, but its failure? See, the reason she's thinking about it so hard is because she's thinking of the failure of it. She's not even thinking about the positive part. This is how stuck these people are. So many people are stuck in this negative perspective and mind frame that they can't see the world from no other perspective than that. He's asking if she is involved in either the positive outcome of the relationship or the negative outcome of the relationship, and she can't fathom the question because she's so stuck in the failure of the relationship is the man's fault. She can't get past it. She can't. That broke her brain. And she understood that question, because how could you not? You're going to have something wrong with you if you can't answer that question. I want to share a little bit more of the tomfoolery, as she doesn't, and none of the ladies answer.
Told her to make her happy, maintain it, provision,
so she doesn't have to give
protection.
anything.
If and then think about it, if he or she leaves, to Dana's sentiment, it's on him because he's responsible and accountable for maintaining that family. So is she even there?
Yeah, like, so she doesn't have to really give anything. It's all like she's just receiving, like he's just pouring into her, and she doesn't have to do
you
much.
You tell us, Nay, based on what you
That's
heard.
what I'm trying to understand it. Ooh.
Is she even there?
Damn, I guess. Because she's not giving much. She's just counting on him to give everything.
Well, you have giving, but you also have responsibility, and then you have blame, all of which is on the man, seemingly based on Dana's sentiment about why men suffer such a harsh penalty when these families don't work, and they take all the criticism.
Whether they right or wrong.
Yeah, I gotta sit with this. Wow.
She gotta
sit
still
with absolutely a factor, but it's
she gotta sit with it. And the reason she gotta sit with it is because the question made so much sense. It wasn't no way for her to pitter patter her back feet around it. Can't scoop no dirt on the question. Can't scoop no dirt on the question. Can't scoop no dirt to the question. Somebody keeps saying she's a rainbow. I thought Q was the only rainbow she wanted to. Anyway. Because in their minds, there is no part for her to play in these relationships. Let's break that down. In a Black woman's mind, there is no responsibility for her in the relationship. When you hear them describe their ideal relationship, they're useless in it. They're useless as tits on a bull. They're useless in it. Their concept of the ideal relationship got them completely worthless, valueless, and useless. They contribute zero value to their relationship at all in any area. It makes absolutely no sense for any man to be with them. They have made it so. No, what sense do it make for him to be with her? For what? For what? I posed the question that they avoided as well. We gonna let it play because see, all of this is extra interest. It might be a part 2. Y'all would want a part 2 of this because we ain't even at the good point, and I only got 15 minutes. None of the other women are saying anything. They happy they ain't on the hot seat. They kind of focusing on Nay. They ain't said nothing either.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? That they're not saying nothing? Let's hear some more. All right, we're going to do Friday will be part 2. Because I ain't even got into the cook. And the only reason I'm not going to do overtime is because I got an important call that I have to take.
Man to figure out what works and to figure out how to make it work. So, but the woman is obviously a very large contributing factor to how the family unit is going to work and to be successful. But it's up to the man, essentially, traditionally.
So, well, if it's up to them, well, Dana, think about this though. You saying she's a large contributing factor. However, if it's up to him to make sure it works, and then he's to blame if it doesn't work, I would argue that she's a large contributing factor. I think if you put her in that low of a state, you got the dog, you got the kids, you got the woman, just about on the same tier, right? Because she's not a force multiplier. If he has to make it work and then take all the blame, that's where we would have to try to understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So she's not upholding her part. She's not doing her part.
There's no part.
What Dana just did was double down on the question and still made the man responsible for the initial question that the young man asked.
He's still responsible and accountable to make it work.
Right.
And
in the solution, he's responsible. So she doubled down on what the young man asked.
But this is but respectfully, she's highlighting the way that women think, though, right? So even if
I got that, and that's good information.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm making my own thought. Even if we see that as problematic, right? Respectfully and thankfully.
Podcast, I really don't like you. Why you always got to be so argumentative when somebody says something?
Arguing with you.
I'm joking. I'm just trying to cut the mustard, bro.
She's
you
making
do it to everybody else. You ain't on the comedian.
When they ask me to leave them alone, I will. She's highlighting the way women think, right? So I gotta respect that part of it because that shows you exactly how a person can say 80% of divorces filed by women. These men ain't no good. These men must be wrong. They must have did this. They must have cheated. They must have did. It's like, come on. But now you see how you get to that. You see how there is not one single iota of logic inside of that thinking and that mindset to just parse it out to say, nah, that can't be possible.
podcast that's only put in place is due to the benefit that the woman get versus the benefit the man don't get from divorce.
No, he just stay on his point. If what he just said is true, then the man would have to be happy for the relationship to work, not the woman. Think about that.
But
think about that. No. Women commit to the man, and he's happy. And then women, that's the number one reason for divorce, is lack of accountability. And they already said it's something that happens that a woman doesn't like. She could have been perfectly fine with the marriage when it started, and then she doesn't like it anymore. She leaves. She's no longer happy. He was still content and happy. Men aren't leaving. Women are leaving. So if you're saying you want a leader and he's 100% responsible for the relationship, then his happiness matters.
Like, fantastic. Do you mind if I just for like 7 seconds bring up your relationship?
Now I'm gonna skip forward a little bit here. They ask an important question that I want to kind of get to.
And Aaron, I know you got to get in. I just wonder. Crimson actually asked the question in the chat. What would be the responsibilities of the follower if women agree?
So I asked, what is the responsibility of the follower then? What do they have to do? Just like Ricky was saying, I saw your comment, Ricky. What do women do? What's a woman's job? We're going to answer that question, but I want y'all to see the tap dancing and the contortion that's got to happen. The conniption fit it's like hitting a vampire with holy water. Like, so I asked, what do followers do?
That the men are the leaders. What is the responsibilities of the follower?
To submit to his leadership.
What does that look like?
I was just going to mention something like that, like keeping him happy. If he's happy, then she.
Hold on, Nate. Let Dana. It sounds cute. What does that look like?
It sounds well. That's what the Lord said, so I guess it sounds good.
Always sounds good.
And the laughter behind it, because it's funny. Because that's the joke. She laughing because that part is the joke. Do you understand? Let me go back.
Conclusion that all of these divorces are men's fault.
I hear you. I just wanted to make that distinction.
Yeah. You weren't speaking from your own. Yeah. Do you guys, and Aaron, I know you got to get in. I just wonder. Crimson actually asked the question in the chat. What would be the responsibilities of the follower if women agree that the men are the leaders? What is the responsibilities of the follower?
To submit to his leadership.
What does that look like?
I was just going to mention something like that, like keeping him happy. If he's happy, then she.
Hold on, Nate. Let Dana. It sounds cute. What does it look like?
It sounds well. That's what the Lord said, so I guess it sounds good.
Always sounds good.
It's funny because what the Lord said is a joke. It's funny because she ain't gonna do it. Remember, this is Dana. This is the one that said her husband has got to make 100K or more. And he got to be this and he got to be that. So the part that's funny is submit to the man. Oh, I guess it do sound cute because that's what the Lord said. It's a mock and a joke. And then could not go into any detail about it. See, the hyenas come here and they figure to get the talking points, but you always can tell a hyena from a lioness because she can't explain that and a lioness can. So when he asks, what does that look like? What is the responsibility of the follower? See, the lioness we're gonna say, well, our responsibility is submission to the leader, but you can press us and we'll have an answer. That isn't a talking point. See, she went blank because what's the next talking point after that? What do the men be saying after that? And they call me a panderer. They call me a panderer because I understand the question and got an answer to it. That somebody didn't have to write in the palm of my hand. You know, I ain't got to read a teleprompter to figure out how to be a woman. I'm the panderer.
Submitting to his leadership, what does that look like? That means allowing him to operate in his space, and ultimately, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to think this through.
You probably gonna say the wrong thing, but we can still learn from it.
You don't want to say the wrong thing. What do that mean?
I don't want to just say something off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
Submitting to
you can't. News flash. You can't say the wrong thing when you got the right answer. If you had the right answer, you can't say the wrong thing. See, it's the humility of the lioness that I like. Because if we got the right answer, we able to give it, and we're not like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong. The right answer is the right answer. And if I don't have the answer, what does a lioness say when she doesn't know? What does a lioness say when we don't know? A lioness, I want one of my lionesses to put it in the chat. What do lionesses say when we don't have the answer and we don't know? I don't know. Thank you, lionesses. Thank you, lionesses. Thank you, lionesses. Thank you, lionesses. We just say, I don't know.
A man's leadership should look like allowing him to basically have the last say and to make decisions on the what the fuck is that for?
You said allow.
Loud.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Dana.
Giving him the space to do what he is innately here to do, which is to lead, which is to be the final say-so, which is to be the disciplinarian, which is to be the provider, the protector. He can't operate.
Notice, I want y'all to notice something in her word salad answer. She's not answering that question. She's trying to talk about what leadership should look like to a follower. That's not the question. The question was, what is the responsibility of the follower? See, they get real slick. That is not the answer to that question. What is the responsibility of the lioness? We submit to the order first of the Most High. And then we submit to the order of our husbands because he is supposed to also be submitting to the order of the Most High. That's number one. What does that mean? Instead of it being a joke, it's actually very serious, because one of the things that the Most High really stresses for women is submission to their righteous husbands. What is submission to your husband? Submission to your husband is doing all of the righteous things that your husband requests and or demand of you without rebelling against his order. even in cases where you do not like that order, when he requests something of you that you don't particularly like and would not particularly do if left to your own devices, what you are doing as a wife is you are then going away from, after you've processed your own feeling about it. I don't like that. I don't like that. First thing that you do is analyze why you don't like that. Do you have a righteous, valid reason for disliking this order? Or is this just in your emotions and you just kind of don't like it? Once you make the determination, that will determine how a lioness moves after that. Because if we don't have a valid, righteous reason why we don't like the order that was given by our husbands, then we move past the selfishness of not just liking it. And where we move to is the benefit of the family. The benefit of the family. We begin to think about, okay, this, even though I personally may not necessarily like this, however, doing this, first of all, will keep peace between me and my husband. Because if I don't give him unnecessary pushback on the things that he says, we can maintain peace. This will be necessary. The peace between me and my husband is necessary for us to move forward in whatever we are doing in our relationship, because we're going to need the cohesiveness of being together in order to get through it. That's number one. Number two, so we get the peace part down. So we're not unnecessarily arguing and making chaos where there needs not be any arguments or chaos. After that is done, we think about, okay, this will benefit the family. Me as a lioness, everything I do benefit the pride. The hyena look at the lioness hunt and think the lioness is supposed to be in charge of the pride because she hunt. The lioness looks at her hunt as a service to the pride. It's a sacrifice that she's making to the pride, to the betterment of the pride, because she knows if she don't hunt, they don't eat. Hunting for a lioness is nothing more the equivalency like in the wild. She's just going to cook something to eat. Now her life isn't potentially in danger for having done this. But her job, she's doing her job. It doesn't make her in charge. When lionesses hunt, that doesn't make us in charge. When we go make money, that don't put us in the charge, in the leadership seat. Going to make money doesn't put us in the leadership seat, because the money is not where the leadership is at. Hyenas don't understand this. Lionesses do. That's the difference. So once we start thinking about the sacrifice that I'm going to make, be it big or small, is for my family. The purpose of a lioness being spiritually sound is that we look for the reward of the success of the sacrifice from the Most High. We know that we will be pleasing the Most High, not just our husbands. See, for a lioness, especially for a spiritual one, everything we do, our husbands benefit from it. We like benefiting our husbands, but ultimately we're pleasing the Most High with it. And if we please the Most High with our actions, then his blessings will come down on that action and the result of those actions. And so we take it out of this frame of I don't want to do anything for him because it's just for him. No, 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 no. Lionesses don't think like that. We think the bigger picture. We're actually able to step back and see the forest for the tree. Yes, what I sacrifice, it benefit my husband. Why wouldn't I want to benefit my husband? Why wouldn't I want to benefit my husband? Why wouldn't I want to benefit this man right here? Why wouldn't I want to benefit? Why wouldn't I want to? Why wouldn't I take joy in doing something that benefits him? Because when he is benefited, I am benefited. Lionesses understand the concept of the pride. Hyenas don't. They're very individual, very selfish. Even though they're in a clan, it's chaotic. Why wouldn't I want to benefit my husband? Because if he is benefited and he is getting a good, he's not going to do nothing but return the good to me. Even if I go out and make my husband some money, who he going to give it to? If I go right now and make 10 stacks and bring it back to my husband, where he going to put that money? Who going to benefit from that money? I don't even know if he's still in here to who going to benefit from that money? Where he going to put it? What he going to do with it? He may not give it to me for some frivolous shopping trip, but there will be some thing that he does with that money that eventually will benefit me. Either directly or indirectly, he will do it. Whether he pays or buys a home or buys something or invests it somehow or whatever it is. Even if I bring it to him and he say, this part for you, and I'm going to invest the rest of it, and then we can get the dividends off of it. What if he uses that money to buy us a bigger home? What if he uses that money to put towards a business? Thank you, baby. It's coming back to me. Directly or indirectly, if I was to go grab 10 stacks right now and give it to him, he's going to benefit me directly or indirectly with that money, because it's not him and me, it's us. It's not him or me, it's us. That's the understanding of the lioness. We understand that when we sacrifice, our sacrifice it has the same effect, or is supposed to, as his sacrifice. My husband sacrifices. He sacrifices in ways that he will never reveal to me. That man right there in that chat sacrifices in ways that he may never tell me. He may never say, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did, and you benefited this way, and you benefited from it that way. Because men do that a lot. Then they'll tell you everything they do. Exactly, Ricky. That's how men think. It's not her burden. Why am I telling her? I made the sacrifice because that's what I do. as her husband, as a man. That's what I do. Why am I coming back? You know what I did today for you? I mean, what are we doing? Because what I'm going to do with the information anyway? Say, oh, okay, well, thank you. I mean, I'm not even going to really understand why he would have done it and what was the context. It's not even my business. It's not even my business. It's not my business. Similarly, if called upon to make some sacrifice, be it big or small, for the benefit of my husband and for the benefit of our marriage, then you know what you got to do? You got to swallow it. Swallow it. The biggest thing that women don't like to swallow is discomfort. Doing things that take us out of our comfort zone. That's when you know whether you really in a marriage for real as a woman, or you have a woman that does it. If she can't ever give up her comfort for no reason, for any reason, there's no circumstance where she's willing to come out of her comfort zone, this one is not built for the long haul. Thank you, baby. Some things you don't worry your family about. You know? She can't sacrifice nothing. Everything got to go her way. Everything got to be just so. Women, it's easy for us to get into that. Things got to be just so. We get picky and nitpicky, but you have to step back out of that. When stuff get real, you got to step out of that and be like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, especially if your husband sets a plan. This is submission. When he sets a plan, you may or may not be completely comfortable with all of the details of the plan. Don't undermine the plan. Do it. Do it. Do it. And do it not with an attitude. Do it not fussing. That's the real key. Do it not kicking and screaming. Because he do a lot of things and he ain't kicking and screaming. Even stuff he don't like. Even stuff he wouldn't do in a million years if it wasn't for you. And you have to be able to recognize that as a wife. Recognize your husband's sacrifices when you see them. And be grateful for them. And not just say thank you for them. Be grateful for them. Act accordingly like you recognize he sacrifices for you. That's gratitude. They'll reach up and get the moon and bring it to you. We're going to do a part 2 because we didn't even get to the blowjob question. There's a blowjob question. Y'all realize there's a blowjob question that we did not get to, but we're going to get to it Friday. Friday is a good day to get to a blowjob question. Don't you think? Anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. One of my mods, please post the members link in the chat. Become a member of the channel. Let's have these conversations because there's going to be a lot of exclusive content coming up. I find it much easier to make the content as for members only on YouTube. I don't know why. I don't even ask, but we definitely are having and building up some wonderful conversations, both on the exclusive videos and in the Discord. So don't be afraid to click the Discord link, join the Discord. Members have their own Discord as well. And we can definitely have these off the live stream, off the air sort of conversations and really get into it. So I look forward to that. We're on the road to 1,000 members. So when we get 1,000 members, we'll start doing live streams that are members only, and you do not want to miss those. So once again, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.